Hi guys! Today I want to share with you how I became a happier person over the last 10 years. And when I say happier, I mean less angry, less frustrated, less impatient, generally just less suffering and more peace. I've always been a very optimistic and excited and cheerful person, but at the same time, I also had very high standards that manifested into expectations. And looking back, I also realized that I had a lot of righteous anger, which basically means that when I believe that I'm right, I kind of welcome the feeling of frustration and anger. And I didn't realize it at that time, but that hampered a lot of my ability to solve problems. And I didn't realize it too at that time that a lot of the problems and challenges that I experienced, it's not actually the problem itself that was causing me the anxiety or stress or distress or unhappiness. It was the way I approached the problem. A river just flows, right? And there are a lot of rocks along the way. And the rocks are not obstacles. They're just there, part of the river. And the water just flows around it. And in life, the challenges and the problems that we face, those are not obstacles, just like how rocks in the river are not obstacles to the water. Our problems and our challenges in life, in relationships, in work, those are not obstacles. What become obstacles is the way we see things and the way we handle the challenges that are in our life. Just like rocks are natural, it's part of nature. Us experiencing problems and challenges, that's also part of life. That's not the obstacle. The obstacles that are actually in our way is our ability to flow like the river, around and with the rocks that are just there, our problems and challenges that are there. That's part of life. And developing the skill as a human being to navigate and flow with life is the secret to happiness. So when I say that I've become happier over the last 10 years, it's not saying that I'm always yay, feeling happy, but it's more like learning how to communicate better, how to deal with people better, having learned how to deal with challenges and struggles better, and having learned to understand myself better. And I think that over the past 10 years, the quality of my life has shifted, has been elevated. And I think to me, that is happiness. So I want to share with you the 3 things that I feel like has really elevated my quality of life over the past 10 years. The first thing, my relationship with my husband has improved, and that has made my life so much more joyous. And when I say that the quality with my husband has improved, I don't mean that he has improved. I mean that the way the relationship is right now, our dynamics have completely shifted. And it's been 10 years since we were married. And at the beginning of a marriage, there were so many standards that manifested themselves as expectations that we didn't even realize were the source of a lot of our arguments, a lot of our unhappiness, and a lot of our suffering. I wrote a lot about this in my book, about how we had these expectations and what those expectations were, and how it really messed with the way we communicated with each other. And if you want to know more, I'll put a link to my book in the description and you can read that at your leisure. But for the purpose of this video, I want to say that I think one of the key things that really changed for our relationship was the way we communicated. At the start of our marriage, we didn't even know that we were not good at communicating. To be able to communicate with our partner requires us to verbalize what we want and what we need without saying it in that way that sounds like an accusation. And it's not like we mean to accuse a partner. A lot of the times, the hurts or the discontentment that we're feeling, we're trying to convey that, and we are hoping that our partner can understand. And so in that communication, a lot of the frustration comes through, and that makes the person feel attacked. And then when the person feels like that, they feel defensive. And then it's just downhill from there. And this is a story of so many of our arguments. And we didn't know why. One of the main pain points for me when it comes to Yuri was that I felt like he didn't understand me. I felt like he says he loves me, but I don't feel loved. And Yuri felt the same as well. We were just unhappy. And it required so much practice and so much conscious effort, not into the relationship, but into our own growth, into our own change, that really transformed the nature of the relationship. And to develop those skills, it's not a lesson that we took together. It's something that we each have to work on ourselves from within. I think that no matter what you're going through in your relationship, the change that you want to create, it doesn't come from the other person. It doesn't even come from the relationship. The change comes from yourself and what you have learned about yourself and what you are seeking to understand about your partner and how you develop your skills to communicate and solve problems. Because at the end of the day, the practice and the conscious effort, the skill building is in helping ourselves grow. And when we grow as a person, we can make better decisions. If you decide that your relationship is not for you, then you can walk away from it with a lot of peace, because you understand yourself so well, as opposed to leaving the relationship because you feel like you are the victim in a relationship and that the person has done you wrong, and you're leaving with so much anger and blame that you carry that suffering with you. And that's self-inflicted suffering. Or if you decide to stay in your relationship, but you're constantly feeling frustrated and unhappy, that is also self-inflicted suffering. The only way for us to truly win and have an amazing quality of life, especially when it comes to our relationships, is for us to develop the skills to be able to solve our problems or let go of whatever weighs us down and verbalize and communicate our needs and our wants in a way that we are taking responsibility for them. The second thing that has really elevated my quality of life is my relationship with my mom. The pain points that I have with my mom is very different from the pain points that I experienced with Yuri. And a lot of it, I realized, comes from my need to be a good daughter and how I actually want to make my mom happy. And I didn't realize too at the time that I cannot make my mom happy. We cannot make anyone happy. The best thing that we can do for the people we love is to be happy ourselves. Because when we are contented and we have peace, then we are naturally patient, we are naturally thoughtful, naturally considerate, and that makes it so much more enjoyable for the people we love to be around us. And it wasn't until I started to understand this and to understand where my need for evidence and proof that my mom is happy, where the need comes from. Because if you really think about it, a lot of our need for someone to be happy comes from the ego. It comes from us needing that proof, that validation that we are a good person, that we are a good daughter, that we are a good wife, a good girlfriend, a good friend. Like if I am talking to you and you feel good and you look happy, then I feel like accomplished, right? It means that, I did something right. And so with parents, it's extra sensitive and we're easily triggered because the moment our parents don't agree with us on something or they disapprove over something, we immediately feel very sensitive and very triggered because we intrinsically relate that to how good or not good we are. And to understand all of that, it helps me accept and understand my mom so much more. And the relationship that we enjoy today, I've really had a great relationship with my mom, but even then there were so many things that I didn't even realize that I needed to consciously practice and work on. And again, just like my relationship with Yuri, a lot of the work were internal. And it doesn't actually matter whether you are having like this amazing relationship with your parents and then sometimes there's a little bit of an issue, or you're having a really awful time with your parents and a lot of things are very difficult even though you want to have a great relationship. Whether you're in this camp or that camp, I've realized that the ability to build a loving relationship requires the same skills. And a lot of the skill sets begins from our work on ourselves, how well we understand ourselves, which leads me to the third thing that has really elevated my quality of life, which basically means my happiness, and it is my relationship with myself. has improved. Oh my goodness, I never knew that we even had to learn how to understand ourselves. Come on, we go to school for how many years? 16 years, 17 years? And it's like I graduated without even knowing what it means to love yourself, what it means to accept yourself. What does your needs and fears mean? Where do they come from? Why do we have insecurities? And what do we do when we have these insecurities? And how do we feel about ourselves? What is our self-worth? Like, all of these questions never even entered my mind. So if I never ask these questions, how can I even begin to understand what self-acceptance and what self-love means? And why is that so important? For the past 10 years, my relationship with myself, the better it was, the better my relationships with other people were, which means that the relationship that we have with ourselves and how we feel about ourselves provides the very foundation of every decision we make and provides the foundation for every relationship that we build with everybody. Not just family, but also how we perform at work, how we respond to difficult people, how do we communicate even when it's hard. And so understanding what I need and what I fear and what drives me and why do I react the way I do, it really helped me make better and healthier decisions for myself, where I remember that my ultimate objective, not my emotional objective. My emotional objective is to be right and to feel great and to be respected and to be significant. But the real objective is I just want to be at peace, honestly. This journey and this practice of knowing how to understand myself better has made me realize what taking responsibility for my happiness means. People can say all sorts of things, they can do all sorts of things, but my quality of life is not determined by external factors, not determined by external people. My quality of life is only determined by the way I feel about myself. And that to me is power. The more free I am from guilt, from judgment, whether towards myself or other people, from blame, whether towards myself or other people, from expectations, whether towards myself or other people, the better I am at being happy. This doesn't mean that there are no problems, no challenges. This doesn't mean that I never feel affected. No. It means that when I do feel affected, I am able to handle it in such a way that is healthy for me, that I am not driven by my ego or my fears and my needs. And the kind of mindset and perspective shift that comes with it is astounding. And like I said, it really provides the foundation for happiness because it helps us solve problems. Everything is about solving problems positively, it's about overcoming our challenges positively so that we don't become our own obstacle. What becomes obstacles is inside, the frustration and the resentment and the blame and the anger and the guilt and the judgment and expectations that we carry. When all these obstacles are coming inside us and we can acknowledge and understand it and be able to do something positively with them, this, I think, is the secret to being happy always, not the feeling of yay! That's elation, that's pleasure, that's great too. But even when those feelings are not there, even when we are going through something that is painful, even when we are going through something that is challenging, we can still have peace. And that is only possible, from my experience over the past 10 years, it's only possible when we work on ourselves. And this is why I'm opening up a one-on-one coaching with me, because I truly believe that anyone can achieve and create the kind of changes they want if they want it. And so if you feel like you're going through any kind of problems or challenges and you need help and guidance and tools and practice, then you can send me an email. I'll put an email address in the description box below, and I'll send you an application form and you can see whether you want to take up a one-on-one coaching. The goal of this coaching is so that at the end of all the sessions, you don't need me anymore, because you'll be equipped with the skills and the ability to be able to solve any problems and challenges that come your way in the future. You know, our life is never going to be in this state of perfection. So I think it's so important that we equip ourselves so that we can always help ourselves. And this is especially important if we have the people we love around us, whether it's our parents or kids. Because as long as we ourselves are not happy, it will affect the people around us. Let me know if I can help you in any way. I will be your mentor. I will be your friend. I will be your coach who will guide you, give you the tools to practice, and also show you and plan how to practice so that you have the tools and the skill sets to elevate your life, your relationships, your work, your career, how you feel about yourself, everything. So I hope that this video has been helpful. Thank you so much for watching. If you resonate with anything that I've said in this video with your own life, feel free to leave me a comment. Till the next time, sending you a lot of love and be happy always. Bye!